Welcome to Framer Audiobooks, where courage meets reflection, and where personal stories illuminate universal truths about resilience, growth, and transformation. Today, we present The Woman in Me, powerful memoir and personal story, an intimate journey into one life's struggles, triumphs, and the lessons learned along the way, offering insight, inspiration, and empowerment for anyone seeking to understand the strength and resilience of the human spirit. This audiobook is not merely a chronicle of events, but a vivid exploration of emotion, identity, and personal growth, showing how challenges can be transformed into wisdom and how vulnerability becomes a source of strength. Over the course of this memoir, you will follow the experiences, reflections, and pivotal moments that shaped the narrator, gaining insight into perseverance, self-discovery, and the courage to embrace one's true self. Memoirs like this illuminate the universality of human experience, demonstrating that personal stories, while unique, offer lessons in resilience, empathy, and empowerment for all listeners. Through reflection, honesty, and narrative depth, you will witness how challenges are confronted, how identity is forged, and how growth occurs through adversity, leaving lasting inspiration for your own journey. This audiobook will guide you through a story that is both deeply personal and profoundly relatable, showing how life's trials and triumphs are woven together into lessons of courage, strength, and self-realization. If this journey inspires self-reflection, motivation, or understanding, follow Framer Audiobooks. Subscribe for more transformative memoirs, leave a review to support our mission, and share this audiobook with someone seeking empowerment through personal story. Now, prepare to step into a powerful journey of identity, growth, and resilience, and discover the lessons hidden within a life fully lived. This audiobook is divided into 8 chapters, each designed to guide you through the stages, experiences, and reflections that shaped this personal journey. As we begin with the first chapter, remember that personal stories are both intimate and universal, and that the lessons from one life can illuminate strength, resilience, and wisdom applicable to our own. Chapter 1. Beginnings, Childhood, Identity, and the Roots of Resilience. In this chapter, titled Beginnings, Childhood, Identity, and the Roots of Resilience, we explore the formative experiences that shaped the narrator's early understanding of self, family, and the world, while also examining the lessons learned during these early years and why understanding the roots of identity is essential for personal growth and empowerment. Childhood is often the foundation upon which resilience is built, because early experiences of love, loss, challenge, and discovery influence the development of self-perception, coping strategies, and emotional awareness that carry into adulthood. From an early age, the narrator was exposed to both nurturing and challenging circumstances, each of which contributed to a layered understanding of trust, empathy, and the complexities of human relationships, creating the initial framework for personal identity. Family dynamics, cultural context, and social interactions all played a role in shaping perspectives, as the child observed how adults navigated authority, conflict, and expectation, internalizing lessons about perseverance, adaptability, and self-expression. Moments of vulnerability, fear, or uncertainty in these early years highlighted the importance of internal strength, while small victories and affirmations reinforced the possibility of personal agency, laying the groundwork for confidence and determination later in life. Friendships, mentorships, and early connections provided opportunities for understanding, compassion, loyalty, and the impact of human connection, illustrating that support systems are essential for emotional and psychological development. Educational experiences, hobbies, and early achievements further revealed the interplay between effort, talent, and external recognition, teaching lessons about ambition, dedication, and the nuanced balance between expectation and self-worth. One of the most significant lessons from this period is that resilience is not innate but cultivated through repeated exposure to challenge, reflection, and the conscious choice to persevere despite setbacks, forming the emotional foundation that carries into adult life. Another important insight lies in identity formation, as understanding one's own values, strengths, and vulnerabilities early on provides a compass for navigating future decisions, relationships, and personal goals. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that the roots of courage, self-awareness, and personal strength often emerge in seemingly ordinary or difficult childhood experiences, providing a foundation for the challenges and triumphs explored in later chapters. By reflecting on these formative experiences, you gain perspective on how early influences shape resilience, mindset, and identity, preparing you to understand and appreciate the narrator's journey of growth, transformation, and self-discovery in the chapters that follow. As you internalize these reflections, you begin to see that the foundations of strength and identity are built incrementally, influenced by environment, relationships, and personal choices, creating the base upon which courage, determination, and self-realization are developed. Having explored the roots of identity and resilience, we now transition into Chapter 2, where we examine adolescence, self-discovery, and the early challenges that shaped independence, ambition, and personal voice. Chapter 2, Adolescence and Self-Discovery, Navigating Change, Identity and Early Challenges. In this chapter, titled Adolescence and Self-Discovery, Navigating Change, Identity and Early Challenges, we explore the formative years of growth and self-awareness, examining how the narrator faced the complexities of adolescence, developed a sense of independence, and began to define personal values, while also highlighting the lessons learned during this period and why they are essential for understanding resilience, self-expression, and empowerment. Adolescence is a pivotal stage because it represents the intersection of curiosity, self-consciousness, and the desire for autonomy, where emerging identity begins to assert itself amidst external expectations, social pressures, and internal conflict. During these years, the narrator encountered situations that challenged existing beliefs, tested emotional strength, and required critical decision-making, providing opportunities to understand personal limits, resilience, and the importance of intentional choices in shaping one's path. Friendships, social dynamics, and early romantic experiences contributed to a deeper understanding of trust, empathy, and interpersonal communication, while also revealing the complexity of human behavior and the significance of setting boundaries. Educational pressures, extracurricular activities, and personal ambitions created both opportunity and stress, highlighting the necessity of focus, perseverance, and self-discipline in navigating competing demands while maintaining a sense of self. Moments of failure, disappointment, or criticism taught the narrator to process setbacks constructively, fostering resilience, self-reflection, and the ability to extract lessons from experiences that initially felt discouraging or overwhelming. Exploration of personal interests, hobbies, and creative expression provided avenues for understanding intrinsic motivation, discovering strengths, and cultivating passions that would inform future choices and ambitions. One of the most significant lessons from adolescence is the importance of self-awareness, because recognizing personal values, aspirations, and emotional patterns enables deliberate decision-making and fosters a sense of agency that guides adulthood. Another critical insight lies in understanding that independence is cultivated gradually through experimentation, trial and error, and the willingness to confront challenges, both internally and externally, building confidence and resilience over time. The importance of this chapter lies in illustrating that adolescence is not merely a transitional phase, but a critical period of self-discovery, where foundational skills of resilience, decision-making, and identity are tested, refined, and strengthened for the future. By reflecting on the narrator's journey through adolescence, listeners gain perspective on their own experiences of growth, challenge, and self-definition, understanding how early choices, reflection, and courage shape long-term personal development. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to see that the challenges, triumphs, and introspection of adolescence provide the scaffolding for adult identity, equipping the mind and spirit with the tools to navigate complexity, assert personal values, and pursue meaningful goals with determination. Having explored the transformative experiences of adolescence and early self-discovery, we now transition into Chapter 3, where we examine early adulthood, pivotal life choices, and the challenges that forged independence, purpose, and personal resilience. Chapter 3, Early Adulthood Choices, Challenges, and Forging Independence. In this chapter titled Early Adulthood Choices, Challenges, and Forging Independence, we explore the critical period when the narrator navigated significant life decisions, faced personal and professional challenges, and began to establish autonomy, while also examining the lessons learned during this stage and why they are essential for building resilience, self-confidence, and purpose. Early adulthood is a time of profound transition, because it requires leaving the familiarity of adolescence behind while confronting the responsibilities, expectations, and uncertainties of adult life, forcing the development of self-reliance and strategic decision-making. During this period, the narrator encountered career challenges, financial responsibilities, and complex interpersonal relationships that demanded careful judgment, adaptability, and the courage to act in alignment with personal values despite external pressures. Navigating professional ambitions alongside personal development revealed the importance of prioritization, perseverance, and continuous learning, as each choice had long-term implications for career trajectory, personal growth, and emotional well-being. Relationships, both romantic and platonic, became a significant arena for understanding communication, trust, compromise, and boundary setting, providing lessons in empathy, collaboration, and the management of expectations. Failures and setbacks during early adulthood were pivotal, teaching the narrator how to process disappointment constructively, extract insight from challenges, and build resilience that strengthened confidence and emotional stability over time. Exploration of new environments, social networks, and cultural experiences broadened perspective, encouraged adaptability, and reinforced the importance of openness to change, flexibility, and continuous self-improvement. One of the most significant lessons from early adulthood is the importance of intentional decision-making, because deliberate choices aligned with personal values and goals create momentum, direction, and a foundation for sustainable growth and fulfillment. Another critical insight is that independence is forged through both successes and failures, as navigating uncertainty, learning from mistakes, and asserting agency are essential to developing confidence, self-reliance, and authentic identity. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that early adulthood is a formative stage where the skills, mindset, and resilience necessary for long-term success and personal empowerment are tested, refined, and solidified. By reflecting on the narrator's experiences in early adulthood, listeners gain insight into how challenges, decisions, and self-directed action shaped personal and professional trajectories, emphasizing the value of courage, perseverance, and clarity of purpose. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to understand that the choices and challenges of early adulthood are not obstacles but opportunities to build autonomy, strengthen resilience, and develop the foundation for a life guided by purpose, agency, and self. Having explored early adulthood and the formative decisions that shaped independence, we now transition into Chapter 4, where we examine career growth, personal development, and the challenges that shaped professional identity and self-confidence. Chapter 4, Career and Personal Growth, Forging Professional Identity and Self-Confidence. In this chapter, titled Career and Personal Growth, Forging Professional Identity and Self-Confidence, we explore how the narrator navigated the professional world, pursued personal development, and overcame challenges that shaped her sense of competence, self-worth, and direction, while also examining the lessons learned and why this period is critical for cultivating confidence, resilience, and purpose. Career development is a transformative stage, because it tests not only technical skills and ambition but also emotional intelligence, adaptability, and the ability to navigate complex social dynamics in professional environments, providing continuous opportunities for growth and self-reflection. During this time, the narrator encountered high-pressure situations, competition, and unforeseen setbacks that required strategic problem-solving, perseverance, and the courage to assert her abilities while learning from mistakes and criticism. Professional achievements, when combined with personal challenges, reinforced the understanding that success is multidimensional, encompassing not just accomplishments but also integrity, resilience, and the ability to balance ambition with well-being and ethical judgment. Mentorship, collaboration, and networking played a pivotal role, teaching the narrator how guidance, constructive feedback, and shared experiences amplify growth, expand perspective, and foster confidence in navigating complex career landscapes. Facing workplace obstacles and interpersonal challenges also highlighted the importance of self-advocacy, boundary setting, and clear communication, demonstrating that professional identity is strengthened through both action and reflection. One of the most significant lessons from this period is the value of continuous learning, because skill development, emotional maturity, and strategic thinking are cultivated through consistent effort, reflection, and adaptation to evolving circumstances. Another key insight lies in resilience, as encountering rejection, failure, or unexpected change provides opportunities to develop mental fortitude, adaptability, and confidence in one's capacity to overcome adversity. The importance of this chapter lies in showing that career and personal growth are deeply intertwined, and that the cultivation of self-confidence, competence, and purpose emerges not from comfort but from actively engaging with challenges and opportunities for development. By reflecting on the narrator's journey in career and personal growth, listeners gain insight into how professional experiences, personal choices, and resilience-building moments contribute to long-term confidence, identity formation, and fulfillment. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to see that growth is a continuous process, and that every challenge, mentorship, and achievement contributes to the development of a professional identity grounded in skill, integrity, and self-awareness. Ultimately, mastering personal and professional growth during this stage equips you with the tools, confidence, and perspective needed to navigate future challenges, assert your potential, and approach life and work with clarity, purpose, and resilience. And perspective needed to navigate future challenges, assert your potential, and approach life and work with clarity, purpose, and resilience. Having explored career and personal growth, we now transition into Chapter 5, where we examine relationships, emotional intelligence, and the personal experiences that shaped empathy, connection, and emotional resilience. Chapter 5, Relationships and Emotional Growth, Building Connection, Empathy, and Resilience. In this chapter, titled Relationships and Emotional Growth, Building Connection, Empathy, and Resilience, we explore how the narrator navigated personal and professional relationships, developed emotional intelligence, and faced challenges that shaped her capacity for empathy, self-awareness, and emotional resilience, while also examining the lessons these experiences provide and why cultivating emotional strength is critical for personal fulfillment and meaningful connection. Relationships are among the most powerful forces shaping identity and growth, because the ways we interact with family, friends, mentors, and colleagues influence self-perception, confidence, and the ability to navigate both support and conflict. During this period, the narrator experienced deep connections, heartbreak, and difficult confrontations, each offering lessons in trust, communication, compromise, and self-respect, illustrating that personal growth is inseparable from relational experiences. Emotional intelligence became a critical tool, as understanding her own emotional responses and those of others allowed the narrator to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics, resolve conflicts constructively, and foster meaningful collaboration and connection. Challenges in relationships highlighted the importance of boundaries, self-advocacy, and authenticity, teaching that maintaining one's integrity while engaging with others is essential for sustaining both personal and professional well-being. Moments of empathy and compassion reinforced the value of perspective-taking, illustrating that understanding others' experiences enhances connection, strengthens trust, and builds collaborative relationships that endure over time. One of the most significant lessons from this period is that emotional resilience is developed through experience, reflection, and conscious effort, as navigating disappointment, loss, or conflict strengthens mental fortitude and self-awareness. Another key insight lies in the power of communication, because expressing needs, listening actively, and articulating boundaries allows for deeper understanding and minimizes misalignment or resentment in relationships. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that personal growth is intertwined with relational experiences, and that cultivating empathy, emotional regulation, and resilience equips individuals to navigate challenges, support others, and thrive emotionally. By reflecting on the narrator's journey through relationships and emotional development, listeners gain insight into how interpersonal experiences shape character, influence decision-making, and strengthen the capacity to respond thoughtfully in both personal and professional contexts. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to see that emotional intelligence, empathy, and resilience are skills that can be developed deliberately through experience, reflection, and practice, enhancing both your connections and your personal growth. Ultimately, mastering the dynamics of relationships and emotional growth allows you to cultivate meaningful connections, navigate challenges with grace, and build a foundation of empathy, understanding, and inner strength that supports every aspect of life. Having explored relationships and emotional growth, we now transition into Chapter 6, where we examine overcoming adversity, navigating personal struggles, and discovering inner strength and empowerment. Chapter 6. Overcoming adversity, navigating personal struggles, and discovering inner strength. In this chapter, titled Overcoming Adversity, Navigating Personal Struggles, and Discovering Inner Strength, we explore the pivotal challenges, hardships, and obstacles the narrator faced, while examining how these experiences shaped resilience, self-awareness, and personal empowerment, and why learning to confront and overcome adversity is essential for growth, confidence, and self-realization. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, and how one responds to challenges often determines the trajectory of personal growth, emotional stability, and the ability to navigate future difficulties with resilience and clarity. The narrator faced situations that tested emotional endurance, physical stamina, and mental fortitude, providing lessons in perseverance, self-reliance, and the courage to confront fear, uncertainty, and societal pressures with determination. Moments of struggle revealed hidden strengths, as confronting obstacles forced the narrator to dig deeper, discover untapped resilience, and develop strategies for managing stress, disappointment, and complex emotional landscapes. Support systems played a crucial role, because seeking guidance, sharing burdens, and accepting assistance reinforced the idea that resilience is strengthened through both individual effort and meaningful connection with others. Adversity also highlighted the importance of perspective, as reframing challenges as opportunities for learning and growth allowed the narrator to extract insight from hardship and maintain hope, motivation, and focus on long-term goals. One of the most significant lessons from these experiences is that empowerment emerges from facing challenges directly, because overcoming difficulties reinforces confidence, self-trust, and the understanding that personal agency can transform circumstance into opportunity. Another key insight lies in adaptability, as navigating complex struggles required flexibility, creative problem-solving, and the ability to adjust expectations and strategies in response to evolving circumstances. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that personal strength is cultivated in the crucible of challenge, and that learning to confront adversity with courage, reflection, and intentional action is foundational to resilience, self-discovery, and empowerment. By reflecting on the narrator's journey through hardship, listeners gain insight into the process of building inner strength, developing mental and emotional endurance, and cultivating the mindset required to navigate life's inevitable challenges effectively. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to recognize that adversity is not merely an obstacle but an opportunity to expand resilience, sharpen judgment, and build a profound sense of personal empowerment that carries into all areas of life. Ultimately, mastering the ability to overcome adversity equips you with courage, confidence, and insight, transforming challenges into catalysts for growth, self-awareness, and the emergence of a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Having explored overcoming adversity and discovering inner strength, we now transition into Chapter 7, where we examine self-acceptance, personal identity, and embracing the full complexity of one's journey. Chapter 7, Self-Acceptance, Embracing Identity and the Journey Within. In this chapter, titled Self-Acceptance, Embracing Identity and the Journey Within, we explore how the narrator learned to embrace her full self, acknowledge strengths and vulnerabilities, and cultivate authenticity, while examining the lessons of self-acceptance and why embracing personal identity is essential for empowerment, inner peace, and meaningful growth. Self-acceptance begins with the recognition that personal worth is not defined solely by external validation or achievement, but by understanding, honoring, and embracing the unique qualities, experiences, and perspectives that make each individual whole. The narrator's journey involved confronting internalized doubts, societal expectations, and critical self-judgments, revealing the necessity of compassion, reflection, and deliberate mindset shifts to cultivate genuine acceptance of oneself. Acknowledging vulnerabilities was as important as celebrating strengths, because recognizing areas for growth without judgment fosters resilience, humility, and the ability to approach life with both courage and clarity. Exploring personal passions, desires, and values allowed the narrator to align choices with authentic priorities, reinforcing a sense of purpose and agency while reducing the influence of external pressures or limiting beliefs. Relationships and interactions provided mirrors for self-reflection, as navigating how others perceived and responded to her identity offered opportunities to discern which expectations to embrace, challenge, or release in pursuit of authenticity. One of the most significant lessons from this period is that authenticity is cultivated, not assumed, and that consistent reflection, boundary setting, and self-compassion enable individuals to live in alignment with their true selves. Another key insight lies in resilience, as embracing identity fully equips one to face criticism, navigate societal pressures, and maintain confidence in personal choices, fostering emotional stability and empowerment. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that self-acceptance is foundational for meaningful growth, because only when one honors and understands oneself can external challenges, relationships, and opportunities be approached with clarity, confidence, and integrity. By reflecting on the narrator's journey towards self-acceptance, listeners gain insight into the process of reconciling past experiences, embracing complexity, and cultivating a balanced sense of self-worth that supports both personal fulfillment and external achievement. As you internalize these lessons, you begin to appreciate that accepting oneself is not a one-time achievement but a continuous practice, reinforcing resilience, emotional intelligence, and the freedom to pursue life fully and authentically. Ultimately, mastering self-acceptance empowers you to navigate life with confidence, clarity, and authenticity, embracing your identity as a foundation for resilience, creativity, and personal fulfillment. Having explored self-acceptance and personal identity, we now transition into Chapter 8, the final chapter, where we examine legacy, empowerment, and the lessons learned from a life fully embraced, tying together growth, resilience, and self-realization. Chapter 8, Legacy and Empowerment, Lessons from a Life Fully Embraced. In this chapter, titled Legacy and Empowerment, Lessons from a Life Fully Embraced, we explore how the narrator reflects on her journey, the wisdom gained from experiences, and the ways personal growth and resilience can inspire and empower others, while examining the benefits of living intentionally and why understanding one's legacy is essential for fulfillment, influence, and purpose. Legacy begins with reflection, because looking back on challenges, triumphs, and choices allows the narrator to recognize patterns of strength, growth, and resilience that shaped her identity and informed the person she has become. Empowerment arises from embracing vulnerability, acknowledging accomplishments, and understanding the lessons hidden within setbacks, demonstrating that strength is not the absence of struggle, but the capacity to transform challenges into insight and action. The narrator's story illustrates that the impact of a life fully embraced extends beyond personal growth, influencing relationships, inspiring others, and creating ripple effects of courage, authenticity, and perseverance. One of the most significant lessons from this chapter is that intentional living fosters empowerment, because deliberate choices aligned with personal values amplify influence, strengthen confidence, and provide clarity in navigating both opportunities and challenges. Another key insight lies in sharing experience, as openness about struggles, resilience, and lessons learned offers guidance, hope, and inspiration to others navigating similar circumstances, reinforcing the power of storytelling as a tool for connection and growth. Reflection on personal legacy also highlights the importance of perspective, because understanding how past actions, choices, and resilience contribute to the present enables intentional shaping of future decisions and impact. The importance of this chapter lies in demonstrating that empowerment and personal influence are cultivated through authenticity, resilience, and the courage to live a life aligned with values, vision, and self-awareness. By internalizing these lessons, listeners gain insight into the transformative power of embracing life, fully recognizing that personal growth, self-acceptance, and resilience are not only tools for navigating challenges but also pathways to meaningful contribution and inspiration for others. As you reflect on the narrator's journey, you begin to see that empowerment is both an internal and external process, cultivated through self-awareness, deliberate action, and the courage to embrace every facet of your life, including the challenges, triumphs, and lessons along the way. Ultimately, mastering the principles of legacy and empowerment allows you to live with intention, inspire through example, and cultivate a life of authenticity, resilience, and meaningful impact that extends beyond yourself. Conclusion: embracing strengths, growth, and empowerment. As we conclude The Woman in Me powerful memoir and personal story, it becomes clear that personal growth, resilience, and self-discovery are journeys that unfold through experience, reflection, and courage. Over the course of these 8 chapters, you have explored the narrator's early life, adolescence, formative choices, career development, relationships, struggles, self-acceptance, and reflections on legacy and empowerment, gaining insight into how challenges, triumphs, and intentional reflection shape identity, confidence, and purpose. You have seen that vulnerability is a source of strength, adversity is an opportunity for growth, and self-awareness is the foundation of lasting empowerment. Memoirs like this remind us that while each person's journey is unique, the lessons of courage, resilience, and authenticity are universal and deeply relevant to our own lives. By embracing these insights, listeners can cultivate the confidence to navigate challenges, assert personal values, and live in alignment with their true selves. The benefits of reflecting on such a powerful personal story are profound. Greater empathy, self-understanding, emotional resilience, and inspiration to pursue meaningful growth. Ultimately, this audiobook demonstrates that empowerment comes not from external validation, but from the deliberate choices, self-reflection, and courage to embrace one's life fully, turning experiences into wisdom and challenges into opportunities for transformation. If this memoir has inspired you to reflect on your own journey, embrace your strengths and vulnerabilities, or find courage through life's challenges, take the next step by applying the lessons of resilience, self-awareness, and intentional growth to your daily life. Follow Freema Audiobooks to access more personal stories, memoirs, and transformative content designed to empower, inspire, and guide reflection. Subscribe to receive regular insights that help cultivate confidence, resilience, and self-discovery. Leave a review to support the mission of sharing powerful stories that educate, inspire, and transform. Share this audiobook with someone who may benefit from reflection, empowerment, and the courage to embrace their own journey. Remember, self-discovery and personal growth are active processes, and the lessons we learn from others' experiences can provide guidance, motivation, and clarity as we navigate our own paths. Commit to reflection, apply insight intentionally, and let the empowerment gleaned from this story shape your choices, relationships, and personal evolution. Your journey toward resilience, authenticity, and meaningful impact begins with the courage to embrace your story fully, just as The Woman in Me demonstrates.